Hey guys, Donald here, ARCRVA. Uh, the place where you come to get your tech knowledge on. I'm telling you, I'm just bristling with them now. Update. As you guys can see that have either visited or seen the channel lately, there is now a banner. There's also a really shoddy picture of me. Okay, I don't take pictures very well. I don't know how I look on video, but I possibly don't look much better. I'm going to give you guys a full image as to what you see. And this is actually more than likely going to be our start image for streams, for live casts, things like that. So, without further ado, I give you the ARCRVA banner. And there it is. In its glory. Yes, I created this myself with some very serious prodding from Jeremy and a few others. He actually suggested there is an earlier image of this one where the lower part of the text, and I'm going to show you on my other monitor. And let me do a fix here real quick. That way I can actually blow this up a bit for you right now. So give me a moment. Right in here, that was actually all a darker color. If you look, I think like right to the very edge here, where the shading is, it was actually that color. Jeremy suggested, hey, make it a lighter color. I'm having even a problem reading it. I'm like, okay. I mean, are we talking 2 shades? Are we talking 20 shades? It's like, well, take it up lighter. I'm like, alright. So this is basically almost a baby blue, sky blue down here, whereas this is more of a blue blue. Doing graphics, guys, I mean, any of you that even have a YouTube channel and do this and want to do it professionally, like I want to honestly do it, you know, like I said, if I get sponsored, fine. If I don't, fine. I'm still going to do this. But, there we go. We have got a banner on the YouTube channel. And see this ugly mug? I mean, I'm not photogenic. I don't know why my wife wants me to take pictures. I'm not photogenic. I hope by this picture she sees that. But she has seen this. So, that is the biggest plus of all. So, from now on live streams, possibly any recordings, we're possibly going to start here with what I've got. I don't know yet. It depends. I mean, it really does depend. I really do want to get into the animation stuff and make a few mini animation skiffs and whatnot. I don't know yet. You know, again, it's going to have to take a lot for me to get to do that. By a lot, I mean sponsors and things like that. You know, if I got sponsors and I could honestly take time off of the primary job, which you all know where it's sitting. Um, I'd do it. However, I'm not at that point yet. I've only got 8 subscribers, and to you 8, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. It's small, but we're working there. Um, One thing I did want to do, and just bear with me for a moment here. What I've got to do is get us set up on the bigger camera here for a minute. Um, and here I am switching way too much. Actually, I do want to come over to this one because I want to show something off. And I'm going to possibly overlay myself like nothing here. Give me a minute here. There we go. Now, you just heard me mention somebody. Jeremy. Jeremy works from home. Does a little bit of what I do here. And at the same time, he also holds a job. One that is, work from home type of stuff. So I've got something here. I want y'all to go check him out. Actually, this is going to be his website. Sadly, I do most of these videos right now on the fly. Unfortunately, it's a bad habit. Hopefully, I can knock myself into some good habits. Redline Gaming PCs. He does have a YouTube channel. I am on it. I'd recommend, if you guys want to see some serious building happening, go check him out. But, as you can tell, he's got deals going on right now where, for instance, it's a Christmas deal. AMD A674 100K APU and a terabyte hard drive for, give or take 350, 370. You gotta watch out for them taxes now and everything else. For those of you that are really into it and just want something just that damn near badass, well, I think this is the biggest badassery he has right now. I don't know. I know the biggest badassery chip he's got is that i7 you just saw. He's got, a good starting, really nice playing VR system here. 16 gigs RAM, a 120 gig SSD, a GTX 1070. It's in a $50 case. I actually run most of my stuff out of $50 cases, guys. Actually, I'll be honest with you, they're cheaper. Um, and by cheaper, I mean really cheap. I think the most built case I have is my HAF case, and that thing is pure solid. I mean, that you can tell that bad boy's steel. I think I actually paid 25 or $50 for it. When I got it, it had no standoffs. I had to get a set of standoffs for it. I actually pulled those from another case. Uh, there's little rubber grommets that are on the back of it. Don't have them anymore. But go on over and check out my buddy Jeremy at Redline Gaming PCs. If you're in the neighborhood, here you go. If you're ever in Fitzgerald, Georgia, go see him. Give him a call. Shoot him an email. Also, follow him on Facebook or Twitter. Please do. You know, he does this to subsidize his income. If he could get more than enough work for him, he'd be able to do it even longer. He'd possibly switch over to full time. So, there you go, Jeremy. I did you a massive solid, buddy. Um, Two, task at hand. I promised you guys talking about Intel versus AMD. I started to do a video the other day. It did not go down too well. Even to my liking, it was pretty harsh. So, here I am. I did about the end of last week 4 benches. Actually, more than 4. I did a grand total of 6 between 4 systems. The first one was a AMD Athlon Phenom 2 940. It scored 331 on its CPU score. I did a test on a 4130FX, clocked at the same speed of the um, Phenom, and then one at its stock speed without turbo. Now, the reason for this is because, one, I knew for a fact that worst comes to worst, it's going to beat it. Alright, fine. It didn't. Actually, it kind of blew me away. It took a lot for it to come close. I expected, honestly, hands down, honestly expected it to be close at the 3 gigahertz speed. Um, it wasn't. As a matter of fact, it was very far, almost very far from the tree. In fact, it was far enough to call it very far. I then have a i5 2400 that we ran the test with. It exceeded expectations, what can I say? And the 4460 that I own. Actually, it's the one I'm on now. We're actually building a render machine. I just got the parts ordered today. And I will go into what in the world happened there. But we're going to actually use the 940 for the rendering machine for live streams and to handle 1080. Right now, I can only do videos with the cameras at 1080. It's actually a pain in the butt. I want to be able to play my game, record it, maybe throw it up for you guys to have fun with. Even pick at me with it. Now, they're not going to be very long. I'll possibly sit there, record half a fight or something in Overwatch. But the 4130, it's stock of its stock speed, that equaling the Phenom. No, it is not 3 gigahertz. it's actually 3.2 if I'm correct. It is definitely faster on the core clock. However, at a 3 gigahertz speed, we scored 296. And at the stock speed, I think either with or with no turbo. Stock speed, no turbo, 376. Believe it or not, I actually turned turbo on and it put a 6 point hit on it. I don't know why. I have a feeling I do know why, but we're not going to go into processor architecture today. Sadly, it's just the design of that chip, all of the FX chips. It appears that they will run a heck of a lot better without turbo enabled. And then if you want to ramp up the clock rate on them, go for it. For the i5 2400, we got a score of 447. Awesome. For an i5 4460 with turbo, approximately 20, it's a dead on 20 points better. With the i5 and 4460 no turbo, actually got, and I'm going to show this to you here. I hope I have it set up right. 460. So it actually knocked off 7 points for that. But here you go. As you can tell here, AMD Phenom 940. This was all done in Nova Bench. I originally started to do this, all of this, right here with Cinebench, and then I had to stop because of that processor right there. Both these tests here were so out of skew to what was supposed to be there, that, what can I say? I was honestly blown away. Ryzen, I'm waiting for it. I think I'm gonna wait. I might be able to get aboard a chip and some RAM this upcoming year. If I do, I will be definitely putting it up against the 4460. I'm going to try and get one right around there. However, I'm going to have to, obviously learn how to turn off the threads inside the BIOS. But I want one that is, I wish I had a 3.4 gigahertz Intel chip. If anybody has a Haswell that wants to loan it to me, it's got to be a 4th generation. I can put it in my board. We can run the tests. I'll send it back to you in a nice static bag, okay? If you want to give me one, fine. But I would honestly, I'm wanting to see what a 3.4 gigahertz quad core Intel, okay? Quad core Intel, turbo boost, the works, does going up against a quad core AMD at 3.4 with hyperthreading. It's going to be interesting. So, boiling down to it, Intel's better right now. I mean, that is until Ryzen comes out, and maybe Ryzen will hand Intel back at their butts. Handing Intel their ass is possibly the one thing AMD needs to do right now. I did watch the AMD Showcase for Ryzen. Basically, the tech release and the big show they put on. I'm actually going to put it down, the link for it down here in the description. Make sure everybody can watch it that hasn't. And everything else. But you know, again, it's one of those things I really want to see it happen for myself. President CEO Lisa, I forget her name. Um, she's right. You know, we want to see marks. We want to see it in action. We want to see it do its thing. Um, Unfortunately, the last time this was done was at the beginning of Bulldozer. Bulldozer was supposed to hand Intel its ass. It didn't. I knew it wouldn't before they even released it to the public because I actually had a friend of mine send me a picture of the schematic, and I kind of went, "What are they doing?" And he thus proceeded to explain to me like I'm an idiot. I'm like, dude, you know, I can see they're taking up floating points here. I can see that they're not really sharing the cache. They're having it run through the whole damn chip. What are they doing? He's like, oh. I'm like, you know this chip is going to suck, right? He's like, no, it ain't. I'll wait for it to come out. I'm like, you wait for it to come out. It's not going to perform well. They're taking floating points out. That's a bad idea. Well, chips came out. Benchmarks started coming out. And I got a call from him one day. He's like, you're right. I'm like, hang on. What? I'm what? He's like, you're right. I said, oh, come on. Say it again. Say it again. He's like, you're right. You were right. I'm like, I know I was. Basically, what happened is to give you an idea as to what and why we're having a problem here with the FX 4130, not outperforming a, oh, sorry, 387 was the score. I thought it was 330 something. I'm sorry, it was 387. Why we weren't just hammering this score away from this, I don't know. Well, I do know. Basically, what it boils down to is chip design. And for prime example today, I have Intel chips on hand. Now, these are all multi-core chips, okay? Now, most of you know what a floating point is. So here we go. I'm going to try and do this right. We're going to call this a dual-core FX chip, okay? Ideally, you're supposed to have one floating point, as I'm trying to display here. One floating point going to and from the chip. Why? Because to each core. Why? Not the chip, the core. Sorry. Why? Because it helps with flow of data. This is what your quad cores look like for each CPU core. That's what they're doing. They're sharing the load between a floating point. That is why the FX will not work correctly, and hasn't. You honestly have to throw more cores at it than what it's worth. And AMD screwed up. Now, is it a good budget chip that you could, you know, get, start gaming with, things like that? Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. But you're not gonna beat an Intel chip. Part of the reason I actually went Intel is because of the kind of gaming I was doing. I was also doing a lot of stuff over a VPN for a job at the time. That's a story for another day. Some of you know where I used to work. Some of you know where I work now. So it's essentially, they've gone back to the one core, one floating point, in and out on each core this time. That's what I'm hearing. I haven't seen a schematic on it. I haven't seen a schematic on the chip at all. It's kind of hard to tell right now. So, that's basically an AMD versus Intel to this date right now, December 19th, 2016. In order to beat a quad-core Intel, you have to have a hex-core AMD chip. You have to. And even then, you're going to be pushing your luck. In order to beat an i7 octa-core, or a pentacore, or whatever core. Sorry, space out there, it happens occasionally. To beat a 10 core, well, essentially a 10 core 20 thread i7, you're gonna need possibly Ryzen at this point. To even go after an 8 core 16 thread i7, you're not gonna do much. Ryzen is the only one right now that I know of. If per this video, again, check the link below, that will possibly beat Intel. But that's all I can say about AMD versus Intel right now. They do flip-flop back and forth every 5, 6, 7 years as to who's the best at the time, who isn't. Yes, you do see my new tripod behind me. It's actually for holding this for our review videos, and actually I've got 2 tablet Christmas presents sitting over here that we need to do a video for before they actually get delivered. I'm also going to do a review on a drone, more than likely. I don't know yet. I do own a couple myself and the wife. I actually got one for my oldest daughter for Christmas this year. So, by the time this video gets put up, I actually now have to warn her mother, hey, don't let her watch this video here titled AMD versus Intel and updates. So, you all have fun. I have to go put the word out now, because if I don't, I'm going to get shot. And I'm going to destroy a surprise. So, peace out. I should have another video up maybe in the next several days. I've got to be to work at 9 a.m. It's almost 4 a.m. right now. They're actually switching my program back again to where I predominantly work. And that's going to take a lot of work. And then I got to go back in at 1. I got to do a lot of training. And then I got to work Christmas. It's going to suck this year. But when it boils down to it, I get a fat paycheck. Well, not a fat paycheck, but a good paycheck. That pays the bills, helps me get some of this stuff to do what I want to do now. And again, check out Jeremy. Again, check out the link below in the video for AMD Ryzen. I will be putting that in there to the YouTube link itself. So, again, take off. Don't have too much fun. Drive safely. It is the holidays. So, let me tell you something before I really do get out of here today. Guys, drive safe. Watch out for the idiots out there that drive drunk, don't know how to drive in the bad weather, i.e. ice, snow, sleet, what have you. Be careful, my friends. Peace.